What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 21 picks correct, which is absolutely insane. So we are on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 21 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $900 just yesterday, and another member who won $362 for the 4th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily upload. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Luguentz Dort, and this one is for 9.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now look at Luguentz Dort. We've actually seen him go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Brooklyn Nets. Now we look at the Brooklyn Nets, we do see that when it comes to points allowed, we do actually see that the Brooklyn Nets surprisingly rank really high, as they rank actually 8th. And that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. When we look at someone like Luguentz Dort, we've actually seen his average over the last 5 be only 9.2. We think he did have an outlier game against Miami. It's brought this line a little bit too high, and now we are starting to see him coming back down to reality, as he does only score a couple of points here and there. And he has shown that over the last 3 games, and we think that will continue on into this next one, especially against a team like Brooklyn Nets, who do a great job at actually restricting points. Now OKC are a pretty fast-paced team, Brooklyn Nets are a little bit slower, and what we have tended to see is that Brooklyn Nets actually do a really good job at slowing down faster-paced teams. So we actually see the pace of OKC dropping down to Brooklyn's pace, and for that reason it could lead to a lot less volume than we usually see from someone like Luguentz Dort. So this one is kind of a no-brainer to us. I think all signs really do point towards the under for this one, and that is a big reason why we do very much like the under, especially for someone like Luguentz Dort, who doesn't really have the highest usage rate in the points department as well. So for those reasons, Luguentz Dort for 9.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. So getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Andrew Wiggins, and this one is for 5.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now we look at Andrew Wiggins, we've actually seen him go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Atlanta Hawks. Now as you all know, when we look at Atlanta Hawks, we see that they rank 19th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So a little bit mid-tier in that category. However, the reason why we do like the under for this situation for someone like Andrew Wiggins is due to the fact that Atlanta do a really good job at restricting, rebounds to the forward position. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely see someone like Andrew Wiggins being able to go in the under due to the fact that when it comes to Andrew Wiggins as well, he hasn't really seen that high of a usage rate in the rebounding department, for this new team, which is the Miami Heat. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely are sticking to the under for this situation, not only just for that reason, but also Miami are a really slow-paced team. Atlanta are a fast-paced team, but what we have tend to see is that Miami tend to slow faster-paced teams down. So we definitely see that happening coming into this game. We actually see Andrew Wiggins, still accustoming to his new teams, or still trying to get accustomed to it. And we have seen over the last 5 games, his average over the last 5 has only been 5.4. So, nothing really to worry about as that case. And that's a big reason why we are sticking to the under. Now, when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have been favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Andrew Wiggins, 5.5 rebounds for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Emmanuel Quickley. So Emmanuel Quickley, another fantastic player. This one is actually a combo one for rebounds and assists for 9.5, and this one is for less. Now look at Emmanuel Quickley. We've actually seen him go in the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Indiana Pacers. So, like I mentioned, this is a combo pick. So when we actually look at both Pacers, we're going to look at rebounds and assists. We see that when it comes to Pacers, they do rank 16th when it comes to assists allowed, and then 18th when it comes to rebounds allowed. Now, we do very much like, the under for this situation here, due to the fact that when it comes to Indiana, we've actually seen them do a really good job at restricting, rebounds and assists to the guard position. Now, Emmanuel Quickley, although he does have a decent usage rate in these departments, it isn't the highest, and we definitely see him still going on the under due to the situation that when we look at both Toronto and Indiana, Toronto are a little bit of a slower paced team. We think pace is going to definitely be taken into consideration. Indiana a little bit faster, but we actually see Toronto bringing the pace down for Indiana, and for that reason, we may not see a little extra volume from Emmanuel Quickley. So we should see him go on the under in this situation here. On top of that, when we also look at, the defensive matchups that he does definitely face off against, he is going to face off against some pretty great defensive Indiana players that are going to guard that guard position, which is why Indiana do a great job at restricting, the guard position in rebounds and assists. So we definitely see all those things being taken into consideration coming into this game, and that's a big reason why we are sticking to the under for something like this. So Emmanuel Quickley for 9.5 rebounds and assists for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Kris Dunn. So Kris Dunn, another fantastic player, and this one is for points, reps, and assists, so a combo of PRA for 15.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, when we look at Kris Dunn, we've actually seen him go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against the Chicago Bulls. Now, when we look at the Chicago Bulls, we do see that the Bulls do rank when it comes to points allowed 29. Moving on into assists allowed, we see that they rank 29 as well, and then rebounds allowed, they also do rank 29. So we do very much like the under for this situation, due to the fact that when it comes to Chicago, they actually do a really good job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. Now, we definitely do like the under due to the fact that both of these teams, Clippers and Chicago, are very slow-paced teams. And since they are both slow-paced teams, we definitely see that being a huge issue coming into this game, as due to the fact that the slower the pace means less volume for Kris Dunn in the points department, in the rebounding department, and also in the assist department as well. So we do very much like the under for this one. We think this line is a little bit too, high for our liking. Yes, he has had a couple of games going on the over, but he was facing off against much easier teams. Now, when it comes to this one against Chicago, who do a great job defensively against guards, we definitely don't see Kris Dunn having one of those games. On top of that, there are a couple of other players in this LA Clippers team that have a higher usage rate, and we are expecting a lot more of them to actually take a lot of the usage rate away from Kris Dunn, which should lead to the under as well. But when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have in favor for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Kris Dunn, 15.5 points, reps, and assists for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about the opponent, and that is none other than Zach Collins. So Zach Collins, as we all know, has been playing fantastic for Chicago. However, this one is for 11.5 points, and this one is for less. Now look at Zach Collins. We've actually seen him go in the under in 4 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against the LA Clippers. Now this one's kind of a no-brainer to us due to the fact that when we look at the LA Clippers, we do see that the LA Clippers rank 4th when it comes to points allowed. So very high, and that's a big reason why we are liking the under for this situation here. When we look at someone like Zach Collins, he also doesn't have the highest usage rate in this department. He did have a most recent game against Philly where he did go off for 19 points. It was a little bit of an outlier game. When you look at his average over the last 5, it is only 7.2, so significantly under this line. Collins doesn't really have that high of a usage rate in the points department, and that outlier game has brought this line a little bit too high. So for that reason, we are sticking to the under for someone like Zach Collins, especially coming into this matchup, who do a great job defensively and also do a great job defending, the big man position as well. So we see those things definitely being taken into consideration coming into this matchup. So all signs point towards the under. So Zach Collins, 11.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. Okay, to the next one, we're going to be talking about also Jordan Clarkson. So Jordan Clarkson, another great player, and this one is for 20.5 points, and this one actually is for less. So this one is a great one because when we look at his average over the last 5, we actually see him, yes, he is averaging 22, but they do face off against Sacramento Kings. Now, Sacramento Kings, although when we look at points allowed, they do rank 21st, they actually rank very high when it comes to restricting points to the actual guard position. So we see Jordan Clarkson going on the under here. Now, Clarkson has had a couple of games going on the over, but some of those games have not really been significantly over. He's only made it over by maybe 2 to 3 points, or maybe even by 0.5. It's not really convincing enough to us. We should see his usage rate continue to drop. He did have an outlier game, having 31 actually against Golden State Warriors. Like I said, you know, these outlier games definitely change these lines drastically, and you start to see where the value lies. And I think the value definitely lies in the points going on the under, especially for someone like Jordan Clarkson, who does face off against Kings, who have definitely improved when it comes to restricting points to the actual guard position. So for that reason, we are liking the under for this situation here for Jordan Clarkson. So Jordan Clarkson, 20.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. Now, I did want to leave you with one bonus pick for waiting all the way or watching all the way to the end of the video, and that is none other than Jalen Williams for 4.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less.